Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today I'm going to shoot a couple of videos. What I'm doing right now is going to be basically a walk around of the forge. The way I have it set up right now, it's not perfect, but it will at least allow me to start pounding some metal. Start getting down and dirty. Let's go ahead and get started, I guess. While I'm sitting here, one book that I did read, this guy, well, you can see, Complete Modern Blacksmith by that guy. It's a really good book. It gives a lot of illustrations in there that are really easy to follow, and starts you off with projects. Kind of really almost too basic for me, but I want to jump in at the level that I see fit, and start forging up the projects from there, and just kind of follow along step by step, and hopefully it teaches me a little something. So where I'm sitting now, I'm going to be building a, let me back up so you can see it, kind of in this corner right here. I plan on building like an L shape outdoor workbench. Those over there are my legs, and I have some 2x stock of different widths ready for the tabletop. So I'm going to put all that together probably later today, more likely tomorrow, and that's what I'll be mounting my my leg vise to. I love that vise. It's such a big meaty vise, but for right now it's not mounted. I just wanted to start getting beating metal, and today I'm going to take the forge on our maiden voyage. As you can tell, I'm kind of set up in my wood shed. This is part of the wood, part of my wood for the winter. As you can tell, I've already started burning some of it. So there's the forge. As you can tell, I went ahead and finished up painting up all the lettering and stuff. Looks pretty neat, I think. So I just painted everything black. I put the letters in white, and I put the counterweight, the handle counterweight in white. Kind of gives it whatever. That's what I decided to do, so that's what I did. If you haven't been following along, this is a fully restored forge. I took everything down to every last component it could be broken down to, and completely wire brushed. Yes, with power tools. Completely wire brushed the entire forge, primed it, painted it, let it cure for about a month. Totally rebuilt this entire blower. In the two previous videos you can see that. But did the same thing, wire brushed the whole thing, and painted it. Cleaned and inspect all the gears and everything inside of the inside of this gearbox right here, and everything was working perfect. The only thing I have left to do with this is, and I don't really have to, I'm just going to, but it's the original handle. I'm just going, it's got a small crack in it, but what I'm going to do is just there's not a lot of wear that happens on this, so I'm just going to sand it up and coat it with some BLO. But as you can see, that's my anvil over there. It's a 150-pound Fisher anvil. It's just sitting on right now. It's just sitting on the base that came with it. At first, it was a god-awful blue color, like an old-school Ford blue, like a baby sky blue. I couldn't stand it, so I stripped all the paint off of it, wire brushed any rust and everything off of it, and that's where it sits. everything's kind of compact right now, and I am not a blacksmith. I have not I have not been doing. This is going to be the very first time I've ever lit off a coal forge. I mean, I've heat things up before and beat it and things like that. I've been fabricating and manipulating metal for, well, since I was a teenager. But this will be the very first time I've actually like lit off a coal forge and beat beat metal by hand on an anvil, making something out of it. So you guys will get to join me for that journey. I've never lit off a coal forge either, so just watched a couple YouTube videos, and I want to give it my best shot. It's outdoors, sort of. I mean, it's covered, but it's outdoors, so right now I don't have a vent hood or anything to suck any of the smoke away, which will be probably very bad, at least until the forge gets good and warmed up. So I've got a fan over here, just kind of blowing it, cross blowing it out of the forge area. Underneath here I have just a metal bucket I picked up at Ace for an ash dump. I need to get a smaller one because I can't right now. I need to be able to attach something to this side of that ash dump so I can pull it in and out, but I can't right now because the bucket's too high. And I went ahead and picked up, this is an aluminum flexible 3-inch hose I picked up at Ace, and because the one that it came with was a solid or a rigid hose, and the guy didn't, I don't know if he had the blower positioned incorrectly or what, but it's positioned correctly by the way. It might need to go kick down a little bit, but I think it's perfect sitting the way it's sitting now. So anyways, the way I've got it sitting right now, it wasn't long enough to reach, so I just grabbed the flexible one and went with that. Under here, well, inside, and this is all bituminous coal, forging coal, and this is the fire pot. And inside there's at the bottom of it, there's a little clinker dumper, if you will, and it's operated by this handle right here. So whenever I start getting clinkers or whatever I want to dump it, I just simply rotate this handle and it dumps it down into the ash dump, and then I can open that up and it dumps it into my can. So some of the things, the very first thing I'm going to make is a scraper, something that I can move my coal and stuff around and kind of manage my fire as I'm smithing. So until I make one, I have just a fire poker from the inside. What I've kind of done is just make I just used what I had available, threw a couple nails into the 2x4 that holds this shed together, and so I could hang. I just restored a pair of tongs. One pair of tongs should do fine. I got a 4-pound hammer and I think a 3-pound hammer, and just wire brush, safety glasses. This is my torch. What I did a minute ago is just kind of warmed up the anvils because it's kind of cold outside today. Not really, but cold enough for me to have a hoodie on. And I got my other wire brush right here. So just kind of have things hanging. Right now I'm just using a bucket of water for my quench bucket. And it'll also act, you know, if I have a fire, uh, ashes or whatever get out of control or whatever. I've got water here. I've also got 2 fire extinguishers and the water hose on standby. And yeah, so that's about it. Pretty excited to get started. Like I said, I've never blacksmithed before, but it should prove to be a very, very enjoyable and very rewarding adventure. We'll call it that, you know. I've grown up and my whole career has been about being a craftsman, and I've always strived to be the best that I can be at anything that I do. So I think this will be a good challenge for me. So, so that's the forge, and here shortly I'm going to fire it up for its very first run after the rehab. I think it's beautiful. I think it turned out really, really well. Yeah. Well, we'll go ahead because I know we did the last 2 videos were on rehabbing of the blower, so we'll go ahead and do a kind of a test run on her. So I filled it up with oil, and I didn't use the diesel oil, and you could use gear oil if you wanted, but I just thought it was too thick for a cold climate like this. I wanted to keep it a little bit thin, so it didn't get it wasn't too heavy in there. But so I went with I think some 1030 or 1040 regular motor oil, and like I said, and what it is you fill it through this. There's a plug right here, and you fill it through the plug, and that plug is probably supposed to be top dead center, but I went ahead and kind of lined up some of the other lettering and whatnot, so it probably is supposed to go a little bit more. But you pull this plug out, you put the oil in there with the air cock open, and you just fill it until it starts coming out the air cock. And by looking at it, kind of looking at it a little bit more, maybe this, because I went with the lettering here, but maybe the royal is supposed to be here. Maybe there's not even supposed to be as much oil that I put in there as I did put in there, but you know, so be it. We'll go ahead and roll it so you can you won't be able to get an idea until the forge is lit, but it's kind of moving some stuff up in there, but everything's pretty smooth. I mean, I can feel the gears moving in the handle. So yeah, everything's working great. I couldn't be happier with the outcome of the forge and blower rehab, and I'm just stoked to get started. So I will see you guys in a few. If you're digging what I'm doing, you know, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, subscribe, whatever. Yeah, I'll see y'all soon. I'll go ahead and post this video, and then I'll fire it up, flick the bick, take her for her maiden voyage. So I'll see you soon. Friends and family, I love you. Everyone else, I will see you in the next video.